Did I hear no drinking anymore?
No drinking for like 2+ months now. I'm never going back. I feel stupid for waiting this long. Because like I would have these days like we go to the club, we would do some shows, have a couple of cocktails with the boys, have some laughs, and then the next day like, ugh.
This is Joe Rogan, comedian, lifelong MMA commentator, and world's most famous podcaster.
What a dirty business. Like your body and your brain are inexorably connected. If your body functions better, your brain will function better. It's not rocket science. It's real simple.
On this episode, Joe admits alcohol was taking a big toll on his life. He noticed it compromising his workouts, recovery, even clarity.
If you drink, you will notice a big dip if you have one cocktail. One cocktail will be a big dip in the amount of recovery you have.
Right.
And you won't even notice it.
It wasn't just about health. It was about respecting his body. Peak performance meant cutting out things that held him back. So he tapped the brakes. No more drinking. More oxygen to hit harder, perform sharper. But he's not the only famous person who stopped drinking. From top performers to Hollywood icons, more and more high achievers are walking away from alcohol. Not because they hit rock bottom, but because they want to go higher. People like Brad Pitt, who opened up about his battle with alcohol and found strength in sobriety.
The Brads of Hollywood have each other's back.
Bradley Cooper, who's been sober since 2004.
To say thank you to the National Board of Review for their intelligence in finally awarding Brad Pitt.
And Jordan Peterson, who gave up alcohol after realizing its grip and chose clarity and responsibility instead.
Yeah, well, alcohol is an extraordinarily pernicious drug, and if you're inclined towards it because you're sensitive to its anxiety-reducing properties.
Sobriety is not a weakness, it's a power. And very quickly, if you want instant access to a brand new video training that I've just finished showing you how to control alcohol in as little as 48 hours, then click the link in the description. This new method is not about using willpower therapy or AA meetings, it's totally different. I do not publish this video anywhere else online and it's already changing thousands of lives, so click the link below for instant access. Once you're on the next page, enter your name and email address and your free training will begin. It takes just 7 minutes to watch, but it'll feel like somebody flicks a switch in your brain. And honestly, I'm not sure when I'll start charging for this 7-minute video training. That's how good it is. But whilst it's still available, click the link below, enter your name and email address, and watch that video now.
Well, first of all, my life was taking a pretty professional turn, and second, I found that there was no bloody way I could write seriously and think seriously on an ongoing basis if I was hungover. So, and I got married and I was going to have kids, and I thought, yeah, enough of this. And so, I've watched too, as I've gone around the world, I've met very, very many people in many, many social occasions. And because I don't drink anything at all now, if I go out and watch people drinking, it makes everybody stupid and fuzzy-minded. And, the problem is when you're drinking, you think you're cool, but, you have those same delusions that Homer Simpson's friend Barney had when he was drinking, that you're this kind of, elegant and sophisticated comedian. And every time I had done something or said something that I regretted, it was when I was drinking. And I thought at one point, maybe I don't want to live a life where I'm continually or even sporadically wishing that I hadn't said or done something. And I'm very much unlikely to do that if I'm sober and clear-headed. If we had to make a bad drug legal, the worst choice was alcohol. It's definitely the case. 50% of murders take place in an alcohol-fueled environment. Either the victim or the perpetrator or both is drunk. It's almost the sole cause of domestic abuse. It's almost the sole cause of so-called date rape. If you dig into criminal behavior deeply enough, well, hell, you don't have to dig much at all before you find alcohol. It's also the only drug we know that actually makes people more aggressive. So yeah, alcohol's bad news, and it can turn perfectly good people into quite the impulsive and dim-witted monsters. I mean, about 10% of people become addicted to it in one way or another. Far more people than that abuse it. Yes, at least once in their life, yes. So why quit drinking? So I don't end up in hell. Hey, there's a reason to stop. And then if you make that hell real, it's like, here's all the details of my personal hell. Yes, let's avoid that.
Right.
So then you have something to run the hell away from.
Right, so now you have something towards and something to run away from.
I don't want to, at this point, to be running from anything. I want to sit in it. I want to feel it. I want to get through the rough night. And I found in doing so you come out the other side with a more profound understanding of yourself, a greater gratefulness for those in your life, the birds and the trees and everything else.
It was 1 shot, 2 shot. What does 4 feel like? What does 8 feel like? And all of a sudden I'm taking 12 shots of vodka, on a school night by myself, hopping on the bus and, running from the police. And it was a crazy first time drinking alcohol that never stopped for me. Every time pretty much that I drank turned into a crazy event like that. But I don't know exactly at the time what I wanted to escape from. I think that there was just that changing reality. There was that, I like to be able to skew what's in front of me and to silence the mind. By the time that I hit around 20 years old, it was like, this is possible. 22, it was like, this is even more possible. 23, but the problem was that I kept having, it was always like, I could make this a reality if I can just get sober. And I couldn't get sober. So it was this like, I need to get sober, I need to get clean so I can make music that's meaningful, that's impactful. Because once I got high, it was like the veil was over my eyes. I had no connection anymore to the music. It was kind of always that balance, but I felt in my heart, if I can get clean, I can make enough music that will resonate with people that might be able to pay some of these bills.
I didn't one day wake up and say, I'm giving up drinking. I just, like many Brits, had a very, very boozy December. And I decided to just give up for January. I just wanted to do dry January. And all I could think about was having a drink. All I could think about. I was waking up thinking about it. I was checking the clock, when's it 12? And it just really scared me. I just was like, wow, maybe I have a little bit of an alcohol thing. So I sort of decided to punish myself and say, I'll do February as well. I'll do 2 months off. If I can do 2 months off, then I can prove to myself that I don't have a problem. 2 months go by, and I was still really struggling. I felt like I couldn't be social. I felt like I couldn't go to the pub and have a lime soda. I couldn't go out for dinner. I was really, really struggling. And I started to really worry that maybe I had an alcohol problem. And I just sort of said to myself, why am I enslaved to this drink? Why am I so obsessed by the idea of having this drink?
Because it was my go-to to celebrate and my go-to to commiserate. And as an actor working at this kind of juncture, there's a lot of that.
But you definitely had some wild years. Oh, in terms of like alcohol and drugs, yeah. But that had nothing to do with fame though. But I was lucky, I got sober at 29 years old. And, I've been sober for 19 years. Been very lucky.
Good for you. But you've also played serious addict.
Yeah.
Look at A Star Is Born.
Well, yeah, it made it easier to be able to really enter in there. And thank goodness I was at a place in my life where I was at ease with all of that.
Yeah.
So I could really let myself go.
There is an incredible power to what you brought to that.
I've been very lucky, Bear, with the roles I've had to play. I mean, I really have, I look back. It's been a real blessing. I hope I get to keep doing it.
It's the most personal thing to people. And I know it's one of the most personal things to people because try talking to someone else about drinking. Try talking to someone else about how you haven't had a drink for 2 years and watch what happens to them. Well, I don't drink that much anyway. I don't drink. And if I were to tell other people how they could do it is so particular to your own spirit and your own psychology that it's almost impossible to develop one way of explaining it to someone else. You have to fight really hard to look at it from a critical point of view because it's constantly pushed on you. Every Friday and Saturday on social media, there is enabling going on for drinking. When your friend blacks out, if he dies, he dies. And me saying I won't have another drink 10 minutes later.
Captions, yeah.
What if I woke up every morning on Friday and Saturday and Sunday and put my feet on the ground and I just went, not hungover, and put it on social media every day, Like, that would be an influence to people because I think you forget that's an option. And if you look at drinking the way you would look at anything else, which is risk, reward, what am I giving up? What am I getting? Some of the worst odds that ever existed.
Yeah.
And I just looked at it like, I had one night where
especially when you get older.
Yeah, man, I just went deep one night. I remember being like, hey, what happens if I keep going? And it wasn't like dark, it wasn't sinister. I went, I always stop here. What if I keep going? It was really kind of like a oddly like playful kind of a thing. And then I went, oh, I'm done.
I mean, it took a few years and it took a couple of attempts, but I think I have been just unbelievably lucky with the people that I've had around me at certain times in my life. And I met some really key people, some of them actors, some of them not, who just gave me great advice and really cared for me. And ultimately, it was my own decision. Like, I woke up one morning after a night going like, this is probably not good. And I don't miss it generally, like, now at all. Like, I really, and I know, and that varies for some people really still do, and some people like don't. And when I think of like, yeah, like the sort of chaos I used to invite into my life, I'm like, I'm really much happier now. And I think there was some part of me that was like, actors have to be like crazy, cool drunks. Like, I have to live up to this weird image that I have in my head of what it is to be like a famous actor or something. And then at a certain point, it becomes, who are you actually? Like, if you're dropping all pretenses, like, what makes you happy? Even at the lowest point, I still loved my job so much, and I loved going to set, and there was never a day where it affects how I was on set. And I would just like, there was never a point where I was like, oh, I wish this hadn't happened to me. I wish I wasn't Harry Potter. Like, that just didn't happen.
It's not about perfection, it's about making one choice, one decision that puts you back in control. You don't need the buzz, the clarity, the edge, and the discipline to say, I'm done.